This isn't just another church event. This is Impartation Conference, March 13th through 15th in Atlanta, Georgia. And this time, it's personal.
We are building a safe space where you can love God without fear, a space where you're not judged, but seen, heard, and honored for who you are.
This is your moment to grow, not just in spirit, but life. The clarity, the shift, the alignment is already happening.
And those dreams you buried, we're reviving them. We're breaking mental caps, tearing down limits, and helping you step into the version of you that was always possible.
This is more than a conference. It's a homecoming for your soul. Break free, grow deep, dream bold. Join us March 13th to 15th at the Renaissance Atlanta Airport Gateway Hotel. Register now at impartationconference.org.
Safe Space, refuge for growth and healing. Want to be connected to all that Safe Space has to offer? Join our email community. Stay in the loop with inspirational insights and updates. Join our email community and connect with like-minded individuals on the path to self-discovery. Sign up now.
Find your tribe in a safe, supportive space. Join the Safe Space private community and connect with others who get it. We're waiting for you. Stay connected wherever you are with lives and video drops. Text VTerrillHill to 833-458-3658 for instant updates and powerful insights. Join the text community now. Curious about what's next? Book an intuitive tarot reading with VTerrillHill and get the clarity you need. Your future awaits. Heal from within and transform your life. Schedule a soul healing consultation and take the first step towards wholeness. Start your journey today.
Click the Linktree link inside of the description box connected to this video for all of what the Safe Space universe has to offer.
My people, my people, my people, my people, my people, my people. How are y'all doing today? Oh my God, how are y'all doing today? Are y'all all right? I got my gummy bears with me. I'm up. Let's see how long we can go. Now, last time I did this, it was like 2 a.m. We was on the private community. We did like an hour and plus session here, went to the concrete and went all the way in, child. 2 of the members came up because they had to get some things off their chest and carrying on. Y'all know what I should do today? Should I drop the link? Should I drop the link and just let y'all come up if y'all want to talk? Now, when was this? What are you talking about, John? Do y'all want me to do that? Now, listen, if I drop the link, I need you to put your title on how I know you, because if I don't know you, I'm not clicking. You want William McCray me? Yeah. Okay, hold on for a second. Hold on. Hold on. Somebody said, try not to be gay today, man. I can't breathe. Oh, no. Hold on a second. Wowzers. I don't think. All right, it's going to be one of them days today, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be one of those days today. All right? Here we go. I already see y'all already on that jump. We ain't even been up here for 10 minutes and y'all already starting. Bet. Let's go. Now, I'm putting the link on the YouTube horizontal side. If you're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, wherever I'm streaming, and the vertical side, I definitely ain't putting that link on you devil's side of the vertical. That devil's a liar. I definitely ain't doing that. All right, I just pinned the link. I don't know if I've ever done this before on the public side, but I just pinned the link on the horizontal stream, not the vertical, because I'll be darned. I will not click it if I don't recognize your name. So put a proper name that I should recognize on there. Okay. Anywho, y'all, we must talk. Me and ChatGPT was going back and forth. And first of all, I don't know if Sheridan, thank you, Recash. I don't know if Sheridan is still live, but I was watching Sheridan's live as an accuser of R. Kelly has properly written a book. And so as Sheridan was reviewing the book, it felt very familiar to my personal experience, as well as the Diddy experience, and as the Epstein experience. So then I went to ChatGPT to talk about what is it about these mountains of influence that has this steep sexual immorality to it. And do you know ChatGPT told me the system cannot say this. It goes against our policies. So then I had to sort of reroute and backdoor ChatGPT to have this conversation. And do you know what Chat told me? Because it was talking about some whole, like you got to expose and be transparent and tell the truth and da, right? Well, I said, okay, well, bet. Give me one situation in history where exposure toppled a system. It brought up apartheid, and I called BS on that. It brought up chattel slavery, called BS on that. And so then at the end, I said, so are we in agreement that exposure has never toppled a system in existence? And you know what ChatGPT said? Yes, we're in agreement. What the the pattern that I've been seeing is when the system is exposed, it reforms into something more palatable and keeps going. Let's keep it a buck, okay? Let's keep it a buck. The system is not exposed when one man goes to jail. Epstein and Maxine Giswell, whatever, going to jail is not justice when an entire network was affected. Diddy being in jail when an entire network assisted Diddy, R. Kelly being in jail when an entire network assisted R. Kelly, tells me the system was never meant to be exposed. The system is meant to protect itself. So the question that I have, my internal thoughts is, why fight the system? Now, you could argue the needle has been moved. Black people are better off today than they are in times past, at the very least aesthetically. The system is still the system. Like, let's talk about it. All of these names that's been released in the Epstein files, and out of all of the names, only the Clintons are being dragged in to Congress for a hearing. Now, hold on for a second. Matt Churchill says, you fight to save people who are being eaten alive by the system. Okay, now hold on. That's a thought. So are we to not fight the system, but fight for the people? Now that might not be so bad. I might can deal with that, man. I might can deal with that. Like sitting in the reality that when I die, the system will be alive and well can feel hopeless. But I also know that I can save people and leave the system intact. Yeah, I think I'm good for that. Yeah. Now I agree, man, because what I was thinking today is, and I believe this. I don't care where you at, what mountain of influence you're on, education, religion, entertainment, politics, da 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 da. If you are not living a transparent life, you are adding to the deception of the system. If I am not living in my transparency, if I am not living in truth, I am a part of the system that we judge. Uh-oh. John says, I have a question for the people. Oh, boy. Hey, Teravia, how you doing? All of these systems are wicked, including the systems. But see, so Matt Church, that's the conversation I was having with ChatGPT because what I'm noticing is the mountains of influences are different, but the patterns are the same. And so my question was, what is the one thing that's fueling every mountain of influence to have the same outcomes? See, I can see if the church had money issues and politics had, I don't know, issues with truth, and entertainment had issues with that. Every single mountain of influence has the same sexual indiscretions, the same power dynamic, social construct, including the church, which says to me there is an alignment or a system that's fueling all of these mountains of influence. You are correct, because how do you get people to live the truth? That's the tough part. Because for me to live in my truth means that I had to be rejected by those that I love the most. For me to live in my truth means that my fairy tale life of, a wife and children and to be the pastor of a mega church is never going to happen. Like, I don't have as many friends as I should have because I live in my truth. I don't have the opportunity to exercise my gifts like the next person because I live in my truth. So the first thing that we must do is try to, and let me say this, because we're in a quick fix society, the harder it is to get people to be in truth. I don't know how many people could have went my journey of losing it all. Somebody probably would have been like, you know what? Let me just call him real quick and just be like, okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have released that tape. I need some money. Seriously. But to live in the truth that I was a fake and a phony and a protector of those who harm people, that's heavy. That's heavy. Oh, here comes John. Uh-oh. John, let me see your face first before I turn this on. Now, I won't put you on if you don't want me to show you your face, but I need to see your face before I turn this on. I got to make sure. John, can you hear me? Turn your camera on. John. Or if that's you, text me. Oh, hold on. What is that? Okay, good. All right. Anywho, what's it here? Oh, let me see. Oh, hold on. Hey, Walt. How you doing, buddy? Hold on. Let's go. Heck, the alignment in all those spaces is mammon. Now, ChatGPT said that money and power and secrecy. Money, power, and abuse of power. You get people to understand living in their truth is their real life, and they're living in the lie that produces false results in a sense of security. Oh, God, yeah. That's a tall order. What up, Rev?
What's going on? What's going on, people?
I would like to introduce.
Am I muted?
No, you there. I can hear you. The esteemed pastor, Pastor John Ford, everybody.
Yeah, I'm a happy pastor today. You listen, I got these new microphones at the church, so I'm thankful for today. But tomorrow will probably be a little bit. No, I have a question for the people. I have a question. Okay. I don't even know how to get this off my chest. First, let me just say that I'm going to vote. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to vote. I'm going to stay in the fight. But I'm having issues with the Democratic Party. I just feel like they're not fighting for us Black people. Mm-hmm. And every time we're in trouble, I just feel like that our race is the one that pulls us out of trouble. Mm-hmm. And it's getting tiring. Like what happened today, I don't understand how. I mean, I just feel like it should be a little bit more fighting. This today was just ridiculous.
Right.
And I just feel like it's going to get swept under the rug like everything else. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like that even if, let's just say, we take back the House, we take back the Senate, I just feel like that we always are. I don't want to say this, but I feel like sometimes we're being used.
Right.
Because they don't do anything in our favor once they get in place. Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, I'm still going to vote regardless.
Right.
But I see why this younger generation don't want to vote.
Right.
And it's hard to stand and encourage young people when they can give you, I mean, they read right through everything and can basically tell you more than what you tell them, other than, you I don't know. I'm gonna leave it right there. But I just want to know how people feel about that.
Okay, and y'all put your comments in the comments. If you're on the vertical side, you can also click the link. Let me say this, John. Now, I want to preface what I'm about to say with number one. I don't care how many people Obama blew up with drones. I am pro-Obama for one reason and one reason only. Because they represented Black people well. They could have done, because we could talk about policy all day. The problems that people have with Obama that are real problems and real issues was policy issues. Droning and immigration, not character, integrity, or presidential issues. And for that, I will always be a champion of the Obamas, period, point blank, now. Michelle Obama was on a podcast, and they said, if Donald Trump wants to run for a third term, would you be okay with your husband running? And Michelle said, I would not be okay. And plus, he can't because it's illegal. And that pissed me off. You know why it pissed me off? Because the Democrats are still looking through a legal versus illegal lens. She didn't even register that she's saying that if Donald Trump runs again, will your husband? She answered it status quo to an answer that can't take status quo because it shouldn't be a question in the first place. So her thing was, well, he can't because it's not the law. But she's asking you, if Donald Trump. So I agree with you because that upset me with Michelle, because it's like, Michelle, are you not reading the room, honey? They have
in
2028.
in her defense, I think she feel like most of us black people feel. And I feel like that she's not gonna come out and say the real thing. She don't want him to run for no president. She's sick of that mess. So I think she ain't gonna come out and say that. But I mean, in so many words, she has already explained how she's glad that that season of their life was over.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's say Donald Trump stretches the law and runs a third term. Do you think it's selfish when we all know that Obama, like him or hate him, is still crazily popular? Would you think it would be selfish for Obama not to run again?
No, because I wouldn't want to deal with y'all. So, I mean, just be
Even
honest.
though he could be the one to save the country?
Listen, he had 8 years. They didn't. I mean, he did what he could. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't never gonna accept us. Why do we have to keep compromising ourselves, as somebody else put it, for the nation when they don't give a crap about us? It's obvious.
You know what needs to happen, John? I say this on the record, and everybody can get mad at me. And this is a stretch, the only way to change it is for black people to disengage and sit it out. And I'm gonna be honest with you, even this, and y'all might, okay, let me say this: give me the grace to change my mind tomorrow. But how I feel right now, the real way to fix this mess is a boycott of votes in 2028 for all black people. Other than that, because the one thing, to your point, the Democrats have is a guaranteed black vote. Now, the reality is that is the better vote. They're both out of their mind crazy. But let's be honest, if Kamala was president right now, we would not be dealing with what we're dealing with. So you cannot tell me both sides are the same. That is BS. So we have a choice. We either have to accept what is, or we gotta play hardball. Because right now, we're talking about Democrats ain't playing hardball. Let's keep it a buck. Black folks ain't either. Because we're showing up every single time. So we just like the Democrats. So I think we might need to sweep around our own front door before we start screaming, they getting us, because we ain't doing nothing. We won't even watch this. Let's just say we need to exercise our right to vote. Then why don't black folk choose their own candidate, rally around that candidate, and topple over the system where they have no choice but to hear our voice? That's even a better route. That's the fix. You know what? I take that back. That's the true fix. The true fix to this is to get a black leader that can corral the majority of us that's outside of the Democratic and Republican base so much that they have to bow, or that person gonna topple over the whole system. And that, I think, is the fix. What do you say about that?
I guess. Listen, get Mad Church Disease up here, because I want to hear his input on this. I'm telling you, it's I don't know, as a leader of a church, and I'm supposed to be, helping with social justice. I'm just I don't know. I might need to rededicate my life, because I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know.
Now, Moni No Love says, but they won't have the money to make a successful plan. They don't need the money. You only need the money when you're up against both systems. But if black people get behind this man, it's a wrap. We don't need we don't need the commercials on CNN. All we need is enough black leaders saying, we anoint him, and that's a wrap.
We can't even come together to boycott Target, okay? And when I found out y'all weren't gonna boycott Target, I sure went there and got them air fryer wings.
Jamal,
right.
Jamal, you hear that?
There you go.
Now
I'm
Doris
sorry.
Stokes says that.
I'm sorry. Were you talking to me?
Oh no, I was picking on John saying
Oh, I'm sorry.
so now it sounds like the people are saying that's not going to work. But then my thing is, where is the solution then?
Vincent, are you trying to make me mad?
Listen, I wake up minding my business and make people mad every day, man.
Wait a minute. You're way too smart for this. There is no such thing as toppling this system. I can't even believe you use those words. If
Oh,
if we do anything in this country, they're going to change the system and the rules. You know that. You know, anytime we do anything that is going to move forward progress for Black people, they're going to change the rules. They're going to change the system. It is never going to be a situation where we can topple anything. First of all, we're also too much of the minority to do that. And if you understand strategically, Black people we're fighting on so many different fronts and with so many other ethnic groups within the system of the United States. Think it not strange, man. You got Asian people. You got
right.
Hispanic people that can't work with us. You got all kinds of people that we have fought and worked tirelessly to help are working systematically against us. So toppling the system will never, I mean, it just that just I can't even believe you use those words. I mean, I
Okay.
had a blah 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 moment. I was like, what happened
Okay.
to him?
I got you. Hold on one second then. Let's go to ChatGPT. Hold on one second. I'm going to ask ChatGPT one simple question that I'm going to talk to ChatGPT. Oh, I'm talking. Excuse me. Hold on. I'm eating gummy bears and trying to talk at the same time. Let me add the state. Hold on. Before I do that, hold on. Share this tab instead. All right. Give me a second. I'm about to add this to stage. Come on, man. Add to stage. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. Add to stage before presenting a screen. Remove other media. Oh, remove. Okay. Add to stage. Now, this is ChatGPT. Y'all ready for this? Let's go. Hello, chat. If every Black, oh, Jesus Christ. Hold on. Hello, chat. If every Black person pulled their vote from the Democratic and Republican side and only voted for a Black representative that fit them, what would happen to the two-party system?
Well, that would be a seismic shake. If that happened on a large scale, it would shake things up, no doubt. You'd likely see new political coalitions form or a new party emerge. The traditional two-party dominance would weaken or at least adapt because voter blocks hold real power. The system would have to adjust to represent those votes, potentially leading to more diverse platforms or at least a serious reckoning.
And so that's what I'm saying. It would shake it up if the Black people held their vote or chose a different, let's just say we chose Brandon Scott, the mayor of Baltimore, right? Oh, hold on, because chat is listening to me talk. I ain't talking to you, chat. The mayor of Baltimore, Brandon Scott, and we say, okay, we're going to lay hands and ordain Brandon Scott as the Black representative for the race. You don't have to go to the debates. Won't care nothing about that. You show up to all the churches. You show up to all the urban neighborhoods. You show up and we fund it. So now we're not comparing dime for dime because we're not even pushing our candidate on the main platforms. We're pushing the candidates on our platforms because we don't need their vote. What that would do is F up the system. Now, I got proof of that because that's what the Palestinians did. Dearborn, Michigan messed up the whole Michigan vote because the Palestinians said, we're going to sit it out. We won't vote for nobody. I will vote third party. So there is enough power in that where it could change something. But if we don't believe it'll work, then how could it work?
Okay, but you're talking about getting all of Black people together. We can't even get them to stay out of Target, and now you want us to topple. but I'm just saying, you want us, you want us to topple the entire political system, and before I continue, I need for you to change this colonizer's Chat GPT voice. I'm gonna need you to get, Dante or somebody else on this Chat GPT
That's so
to
stupid.
respond to you.
All right. So let me, in fairness, let me say this. I am talking hypothetical. I am talking, I wish. The reality of that. Now, let me say this. One thing that Black people have not had in a very long time, y'all, is our Martin Luther King and our Malcolm X. And I feel like that's what we need as a nation. We don't have the voice that we used to have. Think about it. The civil rights movement was centered on about 2 or 3 voices that magnified and militarized an entire race of people, including white, Asian, and other allies. That's maybe what we're missing first. Who is the Black voice that we follow? Because MAGA got Donald Trump.
Well, it can't be a preacher because y'all dog out preachers 24/7. So
Well, now, wow. and you know what though? You're right. The church, because now I'll say this: the church led the movement back in the day, but somehow or another, the church became, and please, if I'm not saying it respectfully, correct me, John. The church became the thing that we didn't trust anymore. So what we're talking about as a Black community as well is some of the things, some of the foundations that kept us strong are no longer the case, because now Black churches don't want to be like your church. They want to be mega. They don't want to be the community church anymore. They want to be mega ministry. And mega ministry was for white folks. Black folks needed community. So we don't have the community pastor. We don't have the community leader. All of that has become now white adjacent. And that's the grassroots. In order to get someone to lead or step in, we got to go back to what worked back then. Even if it don't look like it, we need the essence of that. And we don't have that now because the true leaders want it to be TBN. All right. I'm done.
All right, I'll say this. I disagree with you on this aspect. I do believe a preacher can be used because at the end of the day, Dr. Martin Luther King was more than a preacher. He was a prophet to our nation.
Right.
I believe that his prophetic voice went far beyond the fact that he was a preacher. It was not necessarily the fact that he was a preacher. It was what was coming out of his mouth that made people galvanize and come around him and really surround him the way that they did. The problem is when we talk about when you deal with any human being who gets in a position of prominence, it's going to end up turning into power, money, and sex if they do not have themselves well grounded in who they are and what their purpose for what they're doing. Because money and that stuff can corrupt any person. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be corrupted. You can think you can't, but you can. So I disagree that that it can't be a preacher. I believe that the call, that the anointing, and I believe that the purpose that God uses those people who can proclaim the gospel goes far beyond just the trust factor with the church, because we have a crisis in truth and trust in our country. And that's just what we don't like to talk about. Nobody trusts the preacher anymore. Nobody trusts in these folks anymore. And the reason why is because they've created an environment by which most people don't want to trust them. And they think it's just that we're hating on them, and it's not. It's not. And I'm not beating up on pastors. I know everybody think I am, but
But you know what, Marcel, let me say this. I think the thing that you and I and those that speak in our voice need to differentiate. There are people like, I've always used Pastor John. Pastor John is a true local church pastor. He pastors the community. And I think the safest churches are community churches. But most of us, that critique the pastor are critiquing the mega church pastor.
Well, you're critiquing the one that's most visible. And as I say all the time, the most visible preachers in our country are the least credible. I'm sorry to say that, but it is the truth.
I believe that.
It is the local pastor who is actually doing the work, because, and I talked about this the other day on one of my programs. Most of us back in the day, we went to the churches in our community, right? We didn't drive across town to go to another church. We just we worshiped in our community.
How many of them walk to church?
Absolutely. I know I walked. Don't get me to laugh, because you know I'm a goofy person.
No, you good. Go ahead.
Okay, but I'm just saying, I walked, so I don't understand. But I do believe, that it is something that can be done. But when it comes to the wicked political system, there are so many different elements that are fighting up against us with this. The religious system is fighting with us against this political system, because they have interwoven the religious institution inside of our political institution.
Correct.
The institution of religion is interwoven throughout all of politics, and they can't even separate Jesus from your vote.
But Marcel, let me add to this. Even in the Bible days, when you think about who crucified Jesus, the government in the name of religion. And now, Pastor John, and that's the part that I wish we had more voices in your space to recognize that a lot of our antitrust is because what we have realized, there's a pattern between the system and the church that's been handshaking a very long time, even recorded in the Bible. But it's like, if we speak up against that, we're coming up against the church. But you can't come up against the church without coming up against the system, because they're intertwined. So, and I don't want to cut you off, Marcel, stay on, because I'm enjoying this. But Pastor John, can you speak to that? What do you say about that? You muted.
I say you're absolutely correct. I think for me, it's I understand why we get that, that route or that rep that we do have. Like I see some people mentioning my frat brother, Jamal Bryant.
Right.
I'm gonna say this: we come from the same denomination, because he was AME before he got to Greater New Birth. Someone said, we depend on him to be the voice of the Black people. He had the potential to be the voice of the Black people. He had it. It was in him. But Jamal got caught up in all kind of other stuff. One of the things about these preachers is that you got to be real. Like one thing I like about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is that he was a real person. I mean, he smoked cigarettes and people knew that. He didn't put on no front for certain things. And I think that a lot of our preachers, they put on a front. They're not real. They can be a little like Jamal. Jamal's messy as I don't know what, and then want us to boycott Target. Listen, I'm all for boycotting Target, but when Food Line stopped selling them air fried wings, I had to get them from somewhere.
You know what, John? John, enough. We heard you the first time. You're gonna make me look bad on my own platform.
Sorry. Well,
let me ask y'all this.
Food Line, not me.
Let me ask y'all this, and Sheridan is on now, and I don't want y'all to go anywhere. I'm actually enjoying this. So let me ask y'all this. One of the issues that got Donald Trump in office was the purity test, because a lot of the extreme leftists was like, well, Kamala's not pure enough. She's pro-Israel. She's not right. And because of these little slithers in her life, that ain't nobody right. Are we doing the same thing with Jamal? Because let's keep it a buck.
That's what I came to say.
If Martin Luther King was still around today and we could see him smoking on Instagram, or let's say it's true that he was a womanizer, then would we shut him up? All right, I'll let y'all talk. Go ahead. I'm interested in what y'all got to say.
Okay, let me just say this. And I am completely for the advancement of Black people. I am beyond pro-Black. Okay. With that being said, I love us for real. We don't want a leader. And I would really love for us to stop pretending like we would like a leader.
Oh.
We will not. Even back in those days, it's not as it's portrayed in history books where like everybody was just Team Martin Luther King Jr. That is not what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There were so many different scattered
Mm-hmm.
thoughts and Black people opposing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It wasn't a white person that killed his mother,
Mm-hmm.
that was a Black person.
Mm-hmm.
So I want us to be clear that this was not, when they were saying we shall overcome, that was not the whole Black people of the United States of America.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So I want us to be clear on that. But I don't believe that we want a leader. We are so quick to talk about who we're not listening to. I ain't listening to no preacher. I ain't listening to this person or that person. Well, when are you going to step up if you're not going to listen to anybody? There
Well,
is no solution, just complaints.
now wait a minute.
Okay.
Now wait 1 minute. Now,
I,
Sheridan, you know I love you.
Yes,
Okay. Now
we
let's be
can
clear.
agree to disagree.
Okay. Now let's go here. It's not necessarily what one wants. It's also sometimes what one may need.
mm-hmm.
And
Correct.
sometimes out of a need, you get a leader who arises from the circumstances that have been placed upon a people that demands that individual to become a leader. Let me explain something to you. One of the best things to watch is to watch people have a need and a leader emerges from that need in order to solve a problem and to move a people. Martin Luther King was an answer to a problem and a situation. Now, we recognize there were always different voices and different people who didn't want to hear from Dr. King. But the fact of the matter is, regardless of whether you think you need a leader, or you want a leader, we definitely need Black voices in spaces who can speak from a historicity point and can bring us forward. Because let's just tell the truth, most Black people don't even know history. You don't even know how we got here. You're saying, when I hear these types of things, I'm okay. I get what you're saying, Sheridan, but no.
I think you're conflating what I'm saying with something. I'm not saying that we don't need a leader. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't say that. I don't believe that at all. I'm talking about in these places we have these arguments about this, and I don't think we desire what we say we desire. That's all I'm saying. I think we need a leader, me personally. I believe that. I'm team Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but I'm not going to act like not that people weren't in agreement with him, but literally opposing him. And beyond, it's beyond just smoking a cigarette. I don't, the same way y'all say that these preachers are not real, if real is just admitting to what you're doing, if that's what makes you real, he wasn't real either. And I love him and
You
I
talking
agree
about
with his
okay?
principles, but like, come on now.
Well, back in the days, I thought Baptists could smoke like that. But let me ask y'all this. I don't want to get off of
Back in the
that.
day, did you say back in the day they
Oh,
still
excuse me.
smoking?
Baptists can smoke. Us Pentecostals couldn't. But let me ask y'all this. So, well, first of all, in my mind, I was saying, is this even a thing in 2026? But then I thought about Charlie Kirk. Now, to Sheridan's point, Charlie Kirk was not liked or appreciated by all white people. But to Marcellus's point, Charlie Kirk was a solution to the young white people problem, so powerful that it got him to the White House, which says to me, there is space for a leader of leaders in the Black community, but for some reason, no one talks about the gap.
Well, they
No.
can't lead the older people. They have to lead the young people, just like Martin Luther King Jr. Those people that was following him, these people were in their 20s and 30s and even teens. I think sometimes, no shade to those of us who are a bit older, but I think sometimes the movements, especially in our country, if we look at our history, the movements that made stuff shake was really done by the young people.
Okay. So then, okay.
Which is true.
Yeah, I
which is
agree. They were
which is
all
true.
young.
But if you understand how civics and how local governments work, then you will be able to understand how strategically things have to be done in order to change a society, a community, so forth. We always think
Absolutely.
on such a higher level, on a federal level, and we never think on a local level. In the city that I live in, we have the first Black city planning commissioner in my city. This man, now I'm talking this 2026.
Mm-hmm.
This man went through hell just to be the first Black city planning commissioner. So, and when you get into local government, you got to branch out. It's like a ripple effect. You don't start on the federal level. It has to be a ground roots thing locally, and then you spread out. So even when you talk about, Vincent, changing the system or withdrawing our votes from the system. So if you withdraw your vote from the system, you got to withdraw your vote and focus then, I'm thinking, on the local situation versus the federal, because the local has more effect on you sometimes than the federal, if you really understand it.
That's a good point, Marcellus. So I'm going to ask this question. I want John to answer, Sheridan to answer, and then Marcellus to answer. John, you up here now. You stuck. Because now Marcellus and Sheridan and I will be going on for hours. Sorry, John. All right, but let me ask y'all this. Then let's go back to what I feel like is a major part of the civil rights movement, was the local Black church. Is it safe to say or unfair to say that is where the reform should happen first, because that is the thing as closest to the community, the local Black church? Meaning, can Black people be liberated and the Black church not experience that liberation? What do you say, John?
What was your question? Can Black folks be?
So this liberation, this movement that we're talking about, can we do it minus it affecting the Black church?
That's a good question. I mean, honestly, I think the church would be included, but I mean, everybody ain't in the church no more.
But you don't think that? So I guess the question. Let me ask you this then: is the Black church still an authority in the greater Black community?
It depends on where you at. To be honest with you,
generally,
generally it should be. But I mean, I'm just speaking from a pastor's perspective, one that go through a whole lot with trying to encourage folks in the community. They don't receive us a lot of times. So I don't know if we still have that same effect that we had back in the day. I think we do definitely play a role in just, civil rights and everything and reform, but I don't know how effective it's going to be for this generation that's out there now, to be honest with you.
So, and then I'm going to say this and I'm going to shoot to Sheridan. So if you're right, a lot of the problem is the places that birthed our leaders has been replaced. But I don't know if we have truly identified what is the new Black church in the community. What replaced the power of the Black church? Because when we talk about the civil rights leaders, they came from out of the religious institutions. So if we're having to question the potency of the Black church, then of course we got to question where is our voices at. Whew. All right, Sheridan, what you got? Jesus.
Okay, so I don't think the power dynamic is the same, but I think that the Black church still has power. And I think that people are confused about this, but everybody's confused except the politicians. When they are looking for votes, they don't go to the store.
They go to the church.
They go to church.
Well, hold on. They go to the mega churches. They go to
they also go to the smaller churches.
Now, Sheridan.
I'm telling you the truth. I can only talk about Chicago, Illinois, where I'm from. I can't talk about your city.
Sheridan is right. They do come to the smaller churches.
Okay,
they do. Okay. But let me just say this. I'm going to be real about Black people, period, in church. Half of them don't even listen to the announcements. So I know they'll be listening to the politicians to come. They can't tell you what's going on in the church half the time. So, yeah, they do come to the small church. But these folks we got now, are they listening is the question.
I digress. You're right. Go ahead, Sheridan. My bad.
I also want to say, and I'm not trying to blame people um, because I understand that people have different points of view,
Mhm.
but they don't want church until they need church. At least I'm talking, this is somebody who's on a ministerial staff.
Mhm.
They speak a lot of, we don't want the preacher to do this and that. And then when there are moments like this, when we're talking about policy, when we're talking about brutality and things like that, then it's the preacher's got to show up.
Mhm.
So it is a hard position to be in,
Mhm.
to know when your churchiness, your leadership qualities as a minister are appropriate. It's hard.
Okay. Mad church disease. There's two of you in here, and I'm confused. And
Yeah, it's me. Do
okay,
the other one, because
okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
All right, I'm about to drop you then. All right, bet. All right. Y'all know I got to check because people crazy around here. So what I hear you saying, Sheridan, is the black church could be as powerful, but the black community don't see the value in it like they used to.
Can I add something? Let's go back for just a second.
Well, before you do that, before I want to make sure because I'm soaking up, so I want to make sure that my
Okay.
recap was proper with
Okay.
Sheridan. Is that what you were saying, Sheridan? Sheridan, did I lose you? You're muted if you're talking. Okay, go ahead, Marcellus. Go ahead.
No, what I was going to say is I think the black church is most certainly relevant.
Uh-huh.
I think that the black church is losing its relevance because it has its head in the sand. And the things that the black church uses to think that it's adverse to it, it doesn't pay attention to it and look at the warning signs. The church is always late. We're always the last to figure things out. We're always the last to take heed at things that are being done to it, and paying attention to the signs. If you look at the Pew Research Center, if you look at every statistical situation that's out there, it is telling you why people are choosing to walk away from the institution. Instead of them trying to pay attention to those reasons, they're trying to over spiritualize or doing so many other things. But as it relates to the political landscape of this, Vincent, I look at it like this. I cannot ask for someone to be the answer. I must become the answer. The reason why I work so hard and diligently in my local government and in my local area is because I recognize how this system and how this stuff actually has to work in order for it to really hit the projects and really hit the people who are most affected by this stuff. Right now, I live in a good area. I didn't even know we had a poor community. I just so happened to be one day driving by the area, and I was in total shock. I didn't know we had a projects where I live, in the area where I live. And it's a little ways away, but I was like, when I saw it, my heart sank, because here I am, somebody who came from that. Mm-hmm. And I'm driving by and I'm like, oh my God, but how often do so many of us get fortunate enough to get out of those types of situations, and we don't look back or do things to sort of help in those areas? But that's political as well, Vincent. Mm-hmm. You cannot change you can't change black people's perception and understanding without going back and educating and taking opportunity to educate our people. And how do you educate our people? Primarily is in the church, which is unfortunate. I'm sorry to say that. It's unfortunate because they're too busy with their head in the sand and not paying attention to what's actually happening to us.
So let me ask you that. Celeste, if you're on, click the link. Let me ask y'all this then. I'm gonna start with Pastor John, Sheridan, and Mad Church. And I'm gonna say this again. I am enjoying this conversation, and I hope that it's well-rounded. Pastor John is a traditional AME pastor. Sheridan is a pastor's kid and preacher for an independent black church. And Mad Church Disease is
I guess I'm a heathen on the loose. I don't know. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're more evolved out of that space, but you still believe.
Right.
So I think we got a diverse, and y'all already don't ask me because I don't want to blow up the panel. So that being said, let me ask you this. Have we ever considered that the powers that be saw the efficacy of the black church and sought to destroy her.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think that I think we need to think for a second, because what I'm realizing as I'm listening is we can all agree it ain't what it was. We can also agree that we don't even know what replaced it. We also can agree we don't have a main voice. We're just thrown in there with the Democrats. So we're all agreeing. Now, how we fix it, we might disagree. But I think we need to pay more attention to how did the white church keep her power? Abortion, conservatism, Republicans, and the black church lost hers.
But
That ain't
they
no
but
mistake.
they used the black church in order to keep the power. It was black ministers and it was black preachers who started repeating these white evangelical talking points and preaching to a black audience and getting this black audience to follow behind all of this racial racist crap and follow behind these white evangelicals.
But my question is, and I don't know, we don't know, but the point I'm pinpointing is because that happened. I saw the black church start. I remember we ain't singing them type of songs no more. Them old songs. The spirit ain't in them songs no more. And it was simple. Praise the Lord, everybody. Praise the Lord, everybody.
Right.
Our hymns. All of a sudden, the spirit couldn't move unless she was celebrate Jesus, celebrate.
That was the white people's
Okay, but that
influence.
is a jam, though. I ain't gonna hold you.
Say that she done got suckered by the system. No,
Uh-huh.
I'm just playing.
Listen, you say a whole mouthful right there, because a lot of people now, they do not like hymns from back in the day. And those hymns, if you ever go through and read them, God knows they bring me through some stuff, you know.
Powerful lyrics.
But a lot of people do not like the hymns. They are more into upbeat. I tell my people all the time, listen, I ain't hooping and hollering for y'all. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm gonna give you the word. It's gonna be about 10, 15 minutes. And because I gotta ask me, I'm not doing all that for y'all. That's just not happening. You know, but I think that church has gotten too commercialized. And I feel like that these pastors now, especially these younger pastors, I don't know where they get this idea of money. It's just like it's turned into a business. People are not even going into the ministry to save souls. They going into the ministry for a job to be paid. They saw that this is a moneymaker. So now they're taking advantage of that, just moving it. It's just crazy. It's a different breed.
I'm not gonna hold you. Can I? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna hold you. When it comes to the music, I have a theory. So y'all just watch and see. Yes, the music did go into more of a praise and worship space, and it was cool when it was like Fred Hammond. But then we started getting this Maverick City elevation, and it started getting very whitewashed. But we going back, and I'm about to tell y'all right now, it's going back to the you don't know like I know church, or at least a mix. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
Number one, I don't know if y'all paid attention, but God, I feel like God used Isaac Curry to expose that plan. That's number one. And then number two, now mind you, Maverick City was all up under Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin endorsing them. For years, people have been in Kirk's comments saying, we miss the family. He was doing their reunion tour, and people was, howling and shouting about the reunion tour, but they were also like, so you reuniting with everybody but the family? He just did a live recording of quote unquote church music. Now, man, you was just against church music, hyping up Maverick City, but now you got choir music again. I didn't know if God would give me these songs. It ain't about God giving you these songs. You see what's happening. And I'm telling y'all, because Kirk has now embraced quote unquote church music again. And then Richard Smallwood's death. And then John P. Key on Tiny Desk. Y'all, the church music is coming back. I'm just letting y'all know.
Well, let me say this. Now, Celeste, you don't have to show your face, but can you turn your camera on long enough so I can make sure it's you, or text me, either one? Because I cannot be William McCrae today. Now, but let me ask y'all this, though. Like, that's what happened with the style of worship, where There wasn't a lot of dancing going on. And then now there's this return of like the Pentecostal experience with the Brandon Jacobs and that crew. But the problem I have, okay, thank you, Celeste. Thank you. All right, turn it off. I'll bring you back on. All right. The problem that I'm having, Sheridan, that I want you to address is it's coming back powerless. Like it's coming back just as plastic as the songs now, where everybody dancing and two-stepping, but it don't feel like it has any purpose. It's like, even though like dancing is a thing in the Black Pentecostal church specifically, it's weird now. It's strange. What do you say about that? So
Okay, so I can't speak
go
to
ahead.
every church. Oh, wait, were you saying me or no?
Yeah, I was saying you.
Okay. I can't speak to every church. I just know what I do on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not forcing myself to dance. If there's a dance in my feet, there's one in my feet. I don't think that it's powerless. I think it seems powerless because of this one contraption that we have a love-hate relationship with. It's these phones. It's these phones, because everything has to be filmed. Everything has to go viral.
Sherry,
Everybody is trying to have a
Let me interrupt for 1 second. Let me ask you 1 second. You gonna look me in my face and tell me that these praise breaks ain't lost no power?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the power is lost because what's making it lose power is the fact that we're trying to have a moment. We're trying to go viral. We want the mashup. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
We
So
want to
then,
have a mashup. We gotta, I love Sam Franklin so bad. I don't know if y'all know who she is.
yeah.
But she had some viral moments where they were authentic churchy songs that became praise breaks. About her fourth video, then everybody got to flip every song and make it a praise break.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying though. How can we guarantee? And then Celeste, Celeste is a different mind altogether. So I'm gonna let her hop in after I ask Sheridan this. How can we guarantee as the songs come back, they don't come back plastic and commercialized? Because they come back, just like the praise break, don't mean it still has its soul, its blackness to it.
I think I don't know that it can be controlled. But my best suggestion would be, I don't know if y'all know who prophetess T. Renee Glenn is, but she ministers at different churches and she'll tell them, cut these cameras off. Like, can we just have an authentic moment of worship? And if I understand that we have to evangelize, and using cameras is a way to do that, or if someone's sick and they can't make it in, they get to see church or whatever. But I think honestly, it's just like reality TV. When that camera is on, it makes people bump up the dramatics, and I think some of us need to cut these cameras.
I'm going to say this, and I'll let you rebuttal after Celeste. I think I remember her saying that, and what I said was, oh, she's not ready for the big stage. Because in 2026, you can darn near have nothing and not have a camera connected to it, because we're in the digital age. And I think that I feel like the church is always on a seesaw. We either try to catch up with the times and lose our soul, or we try to reclaim our souls but then fall behind in the times. Why can't we be advanced and still keep our ancient spirit? But hold that thought, Sheridan. Hold that thought, because let's jump in real quick. So you've heard this whole conversation. What do you got to say?
You know what? And I had made a few comments, and put them in the chat and everything. And as I'm listening to everyone's everything, right? You know what I just actually keep going back to? I keep going back to the start of this here whole thing when you were talking about the I guess an interview that esteemed First Lady Michelle Obama, right. was and when you had pointed out that she was essentially still operating within the same structure. right? Her answer, her response was within, it was a correct response, but it was within the same structure.
Yeah.
And this is what I keep going back to, because what are we doing? We're asking the same question and we're sticking to the same structure. Our answers are relevant and correct responses within the same structure. And here's where Celeste about to be Celeste. And so y'all about to hear my mouth, right?
Uh-oh.
Okay. So I'm fully preparing y'all. Fuck the damn structure.
Okay. How
about that? I'm not asking for permission to do anything within anybody's structure, because really and truly, top down, it's a white supremacist structure that we're asking, well, how do we do this new thing under these rules?
Oh,
well,
I don't care.
But I agree with you. But Celeste, here then lies the next question.
Okay.
What then do we do to create a proper or new structure, or how do we begin the genesis of creating a structure that we can work within and have that structure so that we can progressively move forward? Because the number one, we know it's going to take some money. Let's start there, because it's got to have money tied to it. But so how do you start that structure, and how do you create that structure?
Community.
And now, I always believe that you do use a remnant of what has worked, and I think that if you purify everything we said, the common denominator was community.
Community.
Can you expound on that community part a little bit?
I think that because even when earlier on in the conversation, when we were talking about leaders, right? It's always, yes, we need leaders. We're still looking toward a hierarchical structure that really is at least in our society, right, is inherently white. It's inherently anti-Black. It's inherently anti-communal anyway, right? So, you know, we keep answering our and phrasing according to that. But to truly begin, and I think it'll take time, because this is something that so many, we're not accustomed to, what community looks like, how that operates, what when it comes to even, you know, restorative justice. We've got all kinds of frameworks and we say what it should be and so on and so forth, but the practicality of it, how we practice community, how we learn to love well as a community, that's going to take time. What are a whole system? What will that look like? Right? What would a governing body look like as a community? Just a specific set vanguard? No, not necessarily, right? You have to even maybe think about how that would look. A rotating, you know, vanguard, if you will, of with a governing body, right? That's inclusive of various peoples, various demographics, older, younger, queer, women, men, so on and so forth. Like we have to envision it. And so how do we begin?
So what I hear you saying is community, but then now we're getting this individual perspective, because my community might need John's AME Church, or Sheridan's community might need strong mentorship, and Marcellus's community might need some grassroots, but we all need to be community focused. In other words, like, we need to focus on the micro versus the macro.
I think both can be done, but certainly focus on the micro first. That's the only way that's probably the best way under the structure that we do exist in. Obviously, reality says we are in a post-capitalist, whatever the frick world. It's white as heck. Okay, we get that. It's white, right? We know that. Fine. Right. It is what it is. That is reality. I'm not saying let's be delulu and deny what reality is. But
you want to say white again with all that breath? Go ahead and say white again.
White. And will. But I think it's important to begin to practice that, right? In our own micro individual worlds to practice community, right? And what does that look like for us, even locally? Because and I'm gonna be honest, and here I'm gonna tell the truth and shame the devil for shit, sure. Because let me tell you something, I'm a good neighbor because I'm a quiet neighbor and I'm a mind my business neighbor. But can you come and get a cup of sugar from me? I'm looking at my peephole like, why is you at my door?
Now, interesting enough, though,
I don't even practice that, and I'm shaming myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So then, if that's what's the case, then we got to go even more micro, because what I even as I know I attract every last one of you that's on this platform right now, John, Marcellus, Celeste, and Sheridan. I know y'all are good people, great hearts. But what I have found in my good-hearted community is everybody don't want nothing to do with nobody. I don't trust people. Leave me alone. I don't want no friends. Now that's another issue, because you have people going about without village, without assistance, without help, resource sharing.
I think that's because of fear.
Yeah.
And so, now I like this where this is going, because now we can't blame pastor, we can't blame church, we can't blame Barack. We got to look at, do I even have community?
Right.
Do I even have voice and autonomy and agency? Do I even know who my county commissioner is?
But
listen.
Go ahead.
No. I'm just agreeing. I'm just saying. Look, listen.
No, what I was gonna say is, when you talk about the fear of that, and the reason why more people become so insulated is because they are indoctrinated with that whole sort of insulation mindset. Close my door, don't pay my neighbor any attention. You got people in California that live next door to their neighbors for 30 and 40 years and never speak to them. I mean, literally, I'd never seen anything like this until I moved here. These people literally will not know their neighbor. So that whole insulating but I believe that is part of the construct that is so white. I try to say that white, but I believe it is like that because it pits us against each other, and it makes it so that we don't understand the importance of the community, and then we start speaking and fighting within each other and sort of imploding within our own community because we don't understand the communal aspect. You know what I'm saying? And I think the communal aspect, because when you first see the communal aspect, you see it inside of your family. You got your mother, you got your father. That's why you have to understand the dynamics of people as well, because a lot of people, the first understanding that you get of community is your family. And a lot of our families are effed up, if we tell the whole truth. Is that not? I mean,
so now
you talking right.
So what I'm hearing is, oh gosh, first of all, John, that comment took my total whole thought away. But it's stupid clarinet. But what I'm hearing is, oh no, here's what I thought. I just heard someone say that in America, we allow immigrants to come over and take over a whole community and never assimilate and take care of each other from within. Now, I think one of the problems is that when Black people had that, it was purposely destroyed. Highways, infrastructure, tearing down, no support. Like, you got to think about, and that's something we might not be able to consider, that when Black people had strong highways, we was one vote away, strong communities, we was one vote away from a Walmart or a data center or a major highway or a pollution plant. And so it ain't just, in my opinion, us, it is the system. And so I think one of the ways that we can get power back on a micro level is to purpose to build local community in our individual lives. For example, there was someone that did not have there's a couple of people that did not have a job or they needed an extra job. When I got mine, I called them and said, hey, do this, and then I called the HR person and said, hey, their email is coming. Community. And I think that can be an easy solution that we can give the hundreds of people that's going to watch this, is right now on a micro level, what are you resource hoarding that you could be sharing with your Black neighbor?
I agree. And also, let me just say this too. I feel like we do a lot of blaming within the community.
Mm-hmm.
What structure don't work, what person don't work, what kind of people don't work, all that stuff. If we can, I think you pointed this out earlier. I think if we could just pause and be like, actually, white supremacy really did a number.
A number. Yeah.
And if we could start there instead of shouldering the blame ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
because I think some of the reason why some of our institutions are not working
Mm-hmm.
is because we trying to place blame and just point fingers. Okay, it did a number on us.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can understand that goes back with colorism and
Mm-hmm.
texturism and all of the isms that we deal with is
Mm-hmm.
because of the number that that system has done on us. Now
Mm-hmm.
that we acknowledge that, okay, within ourselves, we can try to rebuild structure of community for sure. Whether
Mm-hmm.
your community is the church or not, okay, even if it's not, all right,
Yeah.
what is your community then? Because a
Yes.
lot of people stop going to church, but they ain't start building community.
That's
You
right.
just you just left church.
And let me say this real quick. Don't lose your thought, please. Let me say this. I often rebuke the church people, the people that left. Just because you left don't mean you don't have responsibility to build something. And a lot of times, because they leave, they get mad, rightfully so, but they get mad and they never heal. They end up creating a random toxic silo that they stay in. They just stay mad for years. You need to replace your local church if you're going to leave. Period. And I stand on that. If you are used to being around 200-300 people every Sunday, and then you go from that to just sitting in the house, you're going to run into depression.
And so much other stuff. But that's one of the reasons why the Mad Church Disease channel exists, because when you do those types of things, it's almost like having the spiritual rug pulled from underneath you, and you have to have a sense of stability and understand certain things. Now, I do agree that you have to build something, but I also believe that that also comes with the thought process that once you remove yourself from the building per se, that you've sort of removed yourself from the community. And this is what I sort of run into all the time. Because I'm not physically going into a building every Sunday, people think that I'm not with the church community. I still fellowship with the saints. I still have a lot of times where I'm going into the quote unquote building. So I don't think that just because you remove yourself on a weekly basis, you're removing yourself from the community. And I think people have to kind of get that understanding. But here's another thing I want to add, and this probably ain't going to be a good thing to say out loud, but I just don't want to fool with anything white. I'm done with white people. Can I just say that out loud?
Yeah, you can. It's a safe
Yes,
space.
you can.
Okay.
This is where I need prayer.
Hold on one second. Because I cut Sheridan off and I promised her she can go back. So go finish your thought and then go ahead, John.
No, I'm good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What you say, John?
That's why I need prayer, because I'm slowly but surely I'm about done with white people. And I got some white people that like just, well, I don't care if she watch, she can't beat me. My coworker, right? She's white. She cool. Love her like a mother. Right. But all this stuff that's going on, I'm like, listen, I don't even trust you, lady.
And see, John,
why you think you need prayer?
Because I don't like feeling like that. I don't want to think bad.
You hate her?
No, I don't hate her. I mean, I like her.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
you're not breaking no commitments if you ask me.
But you know what?
I'm starting to like not say things around her. I'm starting to just, she's not. I mean, she's not racist or anything as far as I know. But see, that's the part that she's never showed me any type of racism. I love her, but because of this situation, I'm just.
And yeah, the conundrum I'm
just like.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. The conundrum I'm in is my sister-in-law is white. And if there's anybody that hate all things Donald Trump and everything that connects with him, it's her. When Joe Biden won the election, my brother was like, thank God, because she been on the deep end. But then I'll be sitting here and I know, and I think what I said in one of my shows was white people on a macro level, I don't trust them. But on a micro level, there are some that are allies. And I'm quite okay with that. But
Yeah.
if you are white and I don't know you, you need to know you got to pass a test with me. I don't care how much we skinning and grinning. If I ain't told you we passed the test, we ain't passed the test.
Ooh, can I say something?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Real
Most,
quick. Hey, Crystal and Antonio. All right, go ahead.
but most white people, until you put them in the right circumstance, in the right situation, will never show you how racist they truly are.
Preach, Marcellus.
See here, even if you have them in your family, see, the thing is, and this is what I've learned, and to what the pastor was just saying here just a second ago, the way that I'm able to rationalize this in my mind is, unless you're the kind of white person who speaks up and speaks out, there will be no trust factor from me towards you as it relates to anything concerning my community. Because the only way that I know that you are a person who is going to speak up and doesn't have those non-racist tendencies, etc., is you're going to have to speak up and speak out. You cannot be a person who sits quietly and idly by while such atrocities are heaped on our community, and then I just go, oh, okay, whatever. You have to be the kind of white person that speaks up and speaks out. Otherwise, I don't trust you. I don't care that you own a colored TV.
And let me tell you why. Because by birth, we got skin in the game that they don't, literally. So it's really.
I was just about to say that. They need some abolitionist white skin in the game.
Yes, absolutely. Because the thing is this: it's really easy to be like on Twitter, I can't believe Donald Trump did that, and then go to Starbucks and get a frappe. And I can say I can't believe Donald Trump did that, and on my way to Starbucks get stopped and could possibly get shot by a cop, and that's not a stretch. We are not the same because we're typing the same thing. So if you do not have any skin in the game, you are not in allyship with me.
Look at Joe Scarborough. Let's take Joe Scarborough for just a second. When Donald Trump became president, Joe Scarborough and Mika went down there to Mar-a-Lago to kiss his behind after they had spent all that time talking about Donald Trump and all of that stuff. And you saw that when their money and when their position of power in America got threatened, they turned the whole situation around. And so when white people are put in certain circumstances and situations, and this is why I always say most people are only as faithful as their options. When you shrink their options, you will figure out just who people are.
Right. That's what happened with Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom was just this voice, this new, fresh, good-looking white man voice. The next thing you know, he having a Chum podcast with Ben Shapiro. And
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, and Charlie Kirk. And my thing is, you guys are just friendly fire. See, how can I say this? If you're white, you see Charlie Kirk as a jerk. We don't see Charlie Kirk as a jerk. We see Charlie Kirk as a threat.
As a total threat.
Ben Shapiro is a threat, not a jerk. These white men look at these other white men like, oh, he's just a jerk. We don't have that privilege. So we don't sit and chum. No. It ain't that.
May I say something?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
And I love everybody. And however, there's not a such thing as enough skin in the game, if you ask me. And the reason why is because the levels will never be equal. The playing field will never be equal. I remember I studied sociology, so that's the way I think. That's the reason why I think the way that I do. That was my major. And racial and cultural minorities. I had white kids, we were the same age, looking me dead in the face and saying, we didn't do those things to your ancestors. Why should we pay for it?
Right.
And I said, y'all are still benefiting today. Today. Your grandparents wore us as skin,
Mm,
wore our skin like a coat.
mm.
We can't forget that.
Right.
Y'all
Right.
was having good barbecues with humans. We
Yeah.
can't forget that. So shout out to the 2 or 3 good ones. God bless you, but um I'm not going to use my life to be
Mm-hmm.
the litmus test and to see whether or not you're a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it like that.
Yeah.
Um, and I want to say that honestly, if you're so much down and so much of an ally, and I don't really believe that that's a real thing for majority of them, but if you're so much of an ally, where's you losing your life for the cause?
Now let me ask y'all this, because now normally I'm the guy that's like way on the side, and y'all be trying to pull me in, but I'm looking at these comments and listening to Sheridan. It's given that y'all don't even really believe in white allies. Am I misinterpreting?
No, I think
Not
during the
not in
civil rights
totality.
era, the only time we knew that those allies were real allies, if y'all remember, there were some priests who had come into town to help do the march on Selma,
Mm-hmm.
and they were killed. Oh, that proved that you was an ally for real.
So if there ain't no blood spilled, there ain't no allyship. If there's
You
I
no,
don't really, I don't see it.
so what we need to
Amen.
see, like, let me see the bump on your head.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Oh,
because in a
Did you
moment
get
where
by
they're
that bridge?
challenged, they turn into Peter. I don't know him. I
oh.
don't know her.
Now y'all,
Love costs.
what you say, Celeste?
I said love costs.
Love cost. Yeah. Wow. Hold
Love
on,
costs.
y'all are going deeper than me. I know I'm the no one with the extreme views. This I got to think about this. Well, John, what do you say?
Listen, I told you I need prayer because
Okay.
I'm about with them. I've never been that tight, but it's like I'm done.
You know, as much as I hoot and holler on this microphone, that people would listen to me and think I hate white people. I gotta sit and think, am I behind? Maybe I need to catch up with y'all.
But my thing is, why are we always asking to include them into things
Mm,
when everything about them, the society at large, is adverse to us, but we're always seeking to include them into things that in regard to us? And at this age, I'm sorry, I'm not looking to include anyone or expect to have any sort of ally when it comes to white people. I'm just not understanding why everybody's still asking for that. I'm confused.
now,
I
Marcella,
just told you, white supremacy did a number on us. We often seek white validation because of it.
now I'm gonna say this right here. I'm gonna say this now. Where I'm in agreement with y'all is, I no longer center white people in nothing I do and I say. I was at Five
Mhm.
Guys with David for his birthday, and I was talking my normal black self, and I saw all them looking like, what this nigga doing here so
Oh,
loud?
that's just like me. Good for
Yeah,
you, Vincent. Go, go, go.
yeah. I'm not centering white people anymore. I am a black man, American citizen, and I do not need your look of approval or stamp of validation. So if that's what y'all saying, I'm 100% for that. My YouTube platform, the messages I preach, the prayers I pray, and the prophecies I give, do not consider white people when I give it. Period, point blank. And
And let me just make this clear. I'm not saying that I need a white person to be an ally with. What I'm saying mostly is I don't want to be the type of person that every time I see a white person, I'm rolling my eyes. And that's what's starting to happen. You
hate.
know, it's just it's not that I want to trust them or they got to be
Right,
my friend. It's just
right,
that I don't want to be just every time I'm around them rolling my eyes or thinking evil thoughts.
right,
That's what I'm trying to get away from.
right.
But you have those thoughts, and when you're around them because of what has been done to us consistently and the environments that you are having to constantly have to fight up against. So the mere fact that you're having to roll your eyes or you're feeling that type of way should not make you feel like something is wrong with you. See, this is the thing that I done got past this stuff. If I do roll my eyes, if I do look at you some type of way, it is well justified because we are constantly being put in certain circumstances circumstances and situations where we have to defend ourselves. And this is the one thing that I've learned about white folks. Lord help me. Lord help me. They're very sinister.
Mm-hmm.
They're very sinister.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'll look at you and smile in your face. Oh, we love Barack Obama, and go right in the booth and vote against him. We love black people, and they do everything that they can to hurt us and harm us. So I'm sorry. No.
And I'm going to piggyback off of Marcellus. I'm typically the guy that is more like John. But the thing is, I feel like we deserve the space to feel how we feel. The president of the United States of America, arguably the most powerful man in the world, arguably the most influential man in existence, tweeted out or truthed out at the end of a video, the Obamas as monkeys. Now, we all know that whole video had all of the left in it, but he did not use the whole video. The specific part he used was the first black president and first lady as monkeys. We have the right to roll our eyes right now, and we need to give ourselves space to express real emotion, real anger, and real upset. The Bible say, just don't sin. But angry, bada. And I don't
wait, hold on.
I don't want to
Fake husband. You be rolling your eyes at your church members too. So you don't think that you got some type of heart problem. It seemed like you just be tired of people
you
in
know what?
general. So
Actually,
be
hold on.
encouraged.
You're right. John roll his eyes at his church members all the time. You better roll them eyes at them white folk.
And let's be clear though, right? The mark of goodness, despite what a lot of us are typically taught in churches, or you know how we whatever, oh, it's the thought alone, the thought, and capture every thought and so on and so forth, right? Let's really zoom out of that a little bit, right? And consider that the mark of goodness isn't to be devoid of certain thoughts.
Yeah.
It matters our actions and what we do, because in that garden, Jesus surely thought to himself and said out loud and prayed, oh, heck no.
I don't want to do
okay?
this.
I ain't with this.
Yeah, right.
But nevertheless, and surely the actions, so it wasn't that he was devoid
of the feeling
of these thoughts and these feelings.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he even hid them.
Yeah.
And didn't dare to utter them. No. He felt them. He sat with them, sat through it, expressed it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then did what was necessary.
Yeah.
And we say that was good. That was holy. That was all the things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we tired of white people,
yeah.
we tired of white people. But we're not sitting up here spitting in their face. We're not sitting up here enacting laws to make their lives difficult. We're not sitting up here as soon as we see them crossing the street. We might freeze up a little bit.
Right.
We might be like, oh, damn.
Right.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Right. And you know the difference is, I'm Celeste. Get a bunch of white folk around, have this conversation, and they headed out to go do something. Get a bunch of black folks having this conversation, and we'll still treat our white neighbor right. That's the difference, because I don't care how violent they make us seem, we do not seek innately and naturally to harm.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you.
We're gonna come off this live, and if we can go to CVS, and if we felt safe, we would have a decent conversation with the cash register agent person. If we felt safe.
Period.
The average white person will have the same conversation and not choose the black cash register person, go to the white one.
And that's why I keep saying we're not serving the same God.
Oh,
because let me say this. Whoever their God is, I don't know him. There is no way possible we are serving the same God.
Yeah.
Because if we can have that spirit about us, and we can recognize that about us, then we know that there is a different spirit and a different attitude in those people. And I'm sorry, I wrestle with this thought every day. I'd be like, Lord, this has to be hell. This has to be hell, because you have all of these people who appear to be these angels of light, and these people who are trying to do good and blah blah blah, and everything about the way that they live their lives and how they treat others is diametrically opposed to what they preach and what they say.
Because they antichrist.
They talk about Jesus, but it ain't the one I know. I don't know I don't know him. I don't know him.
You know what I love about what we just did is and I hope that what we're displaying for those of y'all that's watching is how Pastor John was saying how he didn't want to roll his eyes. And I get that, because I feel that same way. But us creating space for other Black people to feel how they want to feel. And that's so important, because that's a part of that micro community effort where it's like, no, man, no, I know you got a good heart. That's not who we are. We're not people of hate. So if you're feeling anger, there's some justification there. And we need to do that more with each other. Honor each other's feelings and hear each other out and validate the experience versus, I can't believe you a pastor. I can't believe you did that. No, Pastor John is a human being whose heart seemingly wants to do right. And we're like, no, man, I think you might be justified on this. And I hope that we do more of this in our own worlds, because this is so potent. This is so potent. Whew, Lord have mercy.
But I'll add this on, because this is one part that you didn't mention. Let me just go ahead and stick this knife on in here. The Black church needs to also understand that it becomes quite difficult for you to support folks who are always trying to tell you who you're supposed to hate. The Black church specializes in telling folks who they have to hate and who they can't like and who they can't love and who they can't support and blah, blah, blah. If the Black church is going to get people back, the Black church is going to need to understand that philosophically and moving to an intelligent position. Not saying that you have to change the tradition. I get the tradition. I understand the tradition. But we're going to have to move past some of this stuff as a people, especially as we're moving forward. Why isn't the Black church talking about how many trans Black people are being murdered every day? I just told a story today on my platform, because I think it was like 5 or 6 months ago, I told the people on my platform, I said, when the Lord spoke to me about talking about this, because I had never talked about this, I didn't even know this was a thing. Do you all not realize how many trans people are dying in the Black community, being murdered by other Black people, and nobody talks about it? Where is the Black church? I mean,
the Black church is busy wanting community without unification. They want the system jacked us cake, and they want to eat it too.
Yeah, you cannot tell me you love people, but you only love a certain type of people who follow behind your belief system and your so forth. At the end of the day, they're Black, and the Black church is supposed to be caring about Black people. That's the thing for me. And as a pastor, as a leader, as somebody who has been in the trenches, I don't understand these kind of preachers. These people are in your communities. They are dying in your communities. How in the world are you not speaking up and you're not speaking out? I don't understand that. And you say you're preaching the gospel? Something is off here.
And let me say this. If we take the community word again, that's what it got to be. So, for example, if you are in a underprivileged community, the local church, if I had to bring solution and not beat up on the local church should be assessing the needs of that community. All right. So there's some churches where the local school in that community, they don't have enough resources to maybe buy a computer. And maybe the church can, at the very least, donate one. That's being a part of the community. And for the bigger churches, and I've said this to your point, Marcellus, in Atlanta, I think it is sad. There is an epidemic of Black men and women that catch HIV in Atlanta yearly. And that is not something that is not parroted and protected in Black church spaces, whether it is Black religious spaces. I don't care if you're Muslim, Catholicism, Buddhism, Pentecostal, Baptist, CME, that how can we be a part of the community and we are not parroting and preaching about the needs of the community? And I feel like every local church needs to have the voice of the community in it before we have the I had a dream that an American Airlines plane is going to fall out the sky, and when it do, oh, I knew Prophet was right. Now, I'm not saying nothing is wrong with that, as long as if you're in Atlanta and you are letting your Black members know. And come on, let's be honest. We know that the Black church is full of the LGBTQ community. So at least have resources where they can go get free medical help, free medicine, have resources to teach them how, if you're living with HIV. I remember we did a show, we never produced it, but we interviewed 2 church boys who almost died from HIV turning to AIDS because they didn't take care of themselves. Not because the medicine wasn't there, not because they didn't have the help, because they were ashamed. And that, since you bring it up, and I'm passionate about the LGBT community, but if you are listening to me and you are part of the local church and you have any kind of say-so in your church, encourage the leaders to create voice from the community they are in. Yeah.
But VT, so the question that every person would need to then ask themselves, right? And ask the next one within that's next to them in the pew, that the question that their pastor needs to answer, and so on and so forth, is, do you believe that these are people worthy of care, of love, of well-being? Do you believe that? That's the question that needs to be asked and answered, because really and truly, a lot of times, not even a lot of times, our theology is pretty much bent on othering, because especially in the Black church, because we'll sit up there and instead of lifting the banner of the Lord, the banner that we lift is of the salvation that we earned on our knees. Mm-hmm. Because what does that mean? That means that somehow, and we ain't gonna say it like that, but we say it in so many ways. Well, I'm saved, and so therefore I'm better than.
Like a classism.
Yes. And you already, your view of the next person is already skewed.
Yeah, because then the outreach becomes evangelism and not true community outreach. Now,
it's not love.
Yeah. Right. Now, Pastor John, and I think it's fair, because John is the traditional pastor, and Sharon, I want you to chime in on this too. In the Black community, there are unaddressed ills. The LGBTQ community is an unaddressed ill in the Black community. Lack of mentorship, male, female, unaddressed ill. Lack of resources, finances. A lot of underdeveloped Black communities are food deserts where you can go to the local store and get candy, but you can't buy a fresh apple. What do you all say about what we're talking about right now? Because I don't want to beat up on the church, but to Celeste's point, that's true. Do you have the Lord as your personal savior is parroted above safety, health, financial security, and everything else. Is that true? Is that not true? Is that an ill? What do you say, Pastor John?
I mean, the first thing is that, especially with my church, I preach Jesus. So Jesus consists of love, a love for all people. One of the things that I don't talk about, I'm not one of those firestone. Yeah, I'm not going to be sitting up in the pulpit fussing at you about what you don't do and this and that. That's not what you come to church for, right? As far as getting out in the community, the main problem that pastors like me have is you sometimes you have to be trained on things, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm out in the community. I see things, I address certain issues, but then there are certain things that I can't address because I don't have the training for, which I try to get myself trained for. But the other thing is, it's not always just on the pastor. You got older members that you got to train as well, because older members have that theology where they think they're better than folks that's just newborn or just getting saved or just coming into the church. They think it's some type of hierarchy or whatever. So you got to get them trained and get their mindset together first. That's another thing. But a lot of these issues, it should be addressed, but it's hard when you don't have. I mean, you're only one person as a pastor, but if you have leaders, you got to get those leaders trained so that they can assist with that too, and they got to be willing to be trained. Or you sit them down.
Yeah, and let me say this before Sheridan jumps in. I want to say this to you, John. I am aware of the strains of pastoring a small local church. That ain't easy, because you're literally the vice president, the president, the CEO, the governor, the sheriff, the this, the that, the fourth. To just get new microphones is a move of Congress, especially in a more organized space like the AME or CME is. And so I want to say to you, thank you for not succumbing to the temptation of going mega. I still believe I've been rocking with you for a while, John, and I still believe your heart is still for the people. And so I
don't have no desire to be no mega. First of all, I don't really like people like that. I don't have no desire to be no mega. I'm just doing what God has asked me to do for such a time as this, but I can't take no more than what I got right now.
I guarantee you, your people are lucky to have you, though. I guarantee you, as long as they don't watch this show, because if they watch this show, I know they know that you can't stand them. Sheridan, what you got?
Ooh, child, yeah, he can't stand them. It is not. Thank you, firstly, for acknowledging that it is not easy to lead smaller churches. Um, so there are a lot of things that people perhaps will want churches to focus on, and some of these things are given like that's big dog energy. So what we can focus on, I feel, are the small things. Yes, we absolutely preach Jesus, but in preaching Jesus and making sure that the people are saved, these other things matter as well. Um, Making sure you are, like, for instance, helping people to get employment. I live in Chicago, Illinois. Okay, we the best and the worst city all at the same time.
Right.
Um, So we are expected to do things like, for instance, a person gets shot, and y'all know gun violence is heavy in our community in Chicago. It's been better in this year than years past, but making sure that they families taken care of, funeral services, things like that. All these things cost, but we try to do things without providing or giving a cost to those people. People need bills paid, and they've been able to come and get that done. So things, community-based things that we can do, making sure, even my dad Sunday, he was talking about all this, what's going on in our government, and making sure that we are not just being prayed up, which is great, but also you need to read, you need to learn, you need to be invested in what's going on in our community and our world, feeding homeless people in our community. And I remember my dad used to feed the homeless at this men's shelter, because most people go straight to the women and children. And he was him and two of the ministers of our church, this when I was younger, would go there and not feeding them hot dogs and stuff that is not good for them, literal steaks.
Wow.
And treating them like humans, like men.
Right.
But you want to know what happened one day? My dad asked one of the homeless men, can you carry this pan for us? Talking
Mm-hmm.
about a pan of food that they finna get him.
Mm-hmm. He
And
said
he
no.
cussed my daddy to the ground. Who the blank do you think I am? And
Uh-huh.
all this stuff. So it takes a lot um to continue to, they used to have this phrase in church, stay on the wall and never come down.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
a lot to stay on the wall. And so I'm listening to all of the things that you guys are saying, and thank you for saying the church needs to do this, the church needs to do that.
Mm-hmm.
What we can do, I'm willing to implement. And even though we're small, I'm willing to implement and go back to the drawing board and say, hey, what about this? What about that?
Mm-hmm.
We got some LGBTQ members in our church, and we
Mm-hmm.
don't be just preaching, talking about you gotta do it.
Right.
No, I care about more than how you treat yourself and
Mm-hmm.
people than what's going on in your bed. Because
Mm-hmm.
times out of 10, what's happening in your bed is because of what you feel about yourself and
Mm,
others around you. And
mm.
so
That's good.
when we preach Jesus, that's what I mean. Jesus is healing, deliverance, freedom. And that's not just in terms of speaking in tongues, it's
Yeah.
talking about your actual life and
Yeah.
livelihood. So
All
that's
right.
where I'm coming from. And thank y'all for the tips.
Yeah.
And
So
let me give you another example too
uh-huh.
of what happened to me my first year pastoring. And this
Mm-hmm.
is why I say it's important that you get training, because I don't really pay people any attention. But my first year pastoring at my pastor's appreciation, uh, this person stood up
Mm-hmm.
and they were giving, they were giving their praises to me or whatever. So this person stands up and he says that he really loves me and loves the church because I never ever judged the person for who they were.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sitting here looking because I'm thinking this is a female. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here like, okay, person been going to the church the whole year. I was only there for a year.
Uh-huh.
And they had to tell me that the person was transgender.
Oh wow. You didn't
I
know?
didn't know. And it was the
Wow.
whole year I didn't know. All I knew was the person's name was Red. So I didn't know. So when they told me, I was kind of like, wow.
Whoa.
But that's just the type of ministry that I have. I don't care about what you do in the bedroom or who you, I don't care who you are.
Right.
God is for everybody.
Yeah.
But I do need training when it comes to transgenders because listen,
Wait,
with
I had
correct
on the spot
terminology,
training.
I do need training because I don't half the time I don't know. I'm just saying.
I was
I
having a
had on the spot training. I had to pray for a guy named Derek.
Mhm.
They telling me to pray for Derek, who has cervical cancer.
okay.
Now I was put on the spot, honey, and I'm thinking to myself, don't say she, don't say she, don't say she, and
right.
I didn't. I was like, oh Lord, I passed the test. I'm
Right.
not trying to be phobic or anything like that, but there's no manual. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, we're definitely putting our best foot forward.
Well,
I,
the good news is love doesn't require a manual.
yeah.
Love is overwhelming, overshadowing, and doesn't actually need a manual.
Yeah.
And when you apply love in life, love has no bounds. It goes as far and as wide and as deep as it needs to go. And when I think about the conversation that we're having and what I've heard thus far, the one thing that I want to all just reiterate is this. The part of loving God and treating your neighbor as yourself, you love yourself. You think
Right.
highly of yourself. You're kind to yourself.
Yes.
And so when
Yes, you
we're right, when you're put in those circumstances and situations, you have to do that. And I remember when I was partly coming out of the institution, one of the things that God dealt with me was how I was so judgmental of others when it came to people who didn't believe like me. This is a big old world. Everybody's not going to believe in the version of Jesus that you're carrying around.
Yes.
So you need to understand our responsibility is to love people. So, and if we go far and wide doing that, I think we'll most certainly accomplish the goal, and I think we'll exemplify Christ even more. But that's just me. But as far as the political thing, I don't trust none of these white people. Let me just go back there and say that right there. Let me just get that right on out of there. I don't trust none of them. I don't care what version of Jesus they say they preaching. We're not serving the same Jesus, period, point blank. You can't tell me the Speaker of the House is serving the same Jesus I'm serving. You're out of your mind.
Hello. Okay, so wowzers. Okay, let me say this in conclusion, and then what I want to do, I want to give it to John, Marcellus, Celeste, and then Sheridan to y'all give final words. First of all, let me say this. Y'all, I have supposed to been going live all week and I didn't feel like it, but I felt like it today and I went. And this is almost like teaching me, go with the flow, brother, because I could not have had a better show Monday and Thursday like I had today, this Friday. So no longer, I'm just going to go with the flow because this was great. Thank you, John. Thank you, Marcellus. Thank you, Celeste. And thank you, Sheridan, because golly, this was beautiful. Now, here's what I want to say. Number one, we often beat up. So I don't want to say this as well. I think we need to make sure that we heard what John and Sheridan said.
Mm-hmm.
These are two people in the traditional church who gave space for one of the most hated groups on the Rainbow Coalition, which is trans individuals. And so I don't want to run by that so fast that we don't honor the fact that we have two people on this thing that got enough love in their hearts not to harm someone just because they thoroughly believe in Jesus.
I just want to put a caveat there. John didn't know who was over there, so we can't throw John. No, I'm kidding. John ain't have a clue. He ain't have no clue. But go ahead. I'm messing.
So I wanted to say that because I know a lot of times we beat up on you guys. So I want to give you guys your cookies. And that's personal for me because I feel like I can't belong in the traditional church anymore because of my truthful stance. So I'm so glad there are those of you out there that's treating the folks right. That's number one. Number two, what my recap and what I want everyone to get out of this is community. And right now, we don't have quite the answers for the macro, big picture. But we can cultivate village and community in our own personal lives, whether it's a local church, whether it is a local mosque, or whether it's just you and your neighbors grilling and making sure the kids are safe. I hope that everyone that heard this show is convicted to continue to build community. Again, thank you, John, Marcellus, Celeste, and Sheridan. So, all right, John, give us some last words, and then just go ahead, Marcellus, when John is over, and then after Marcellus, Celeste, and then after Celeste, Sheridan.
Well, I just appreciate y'all because I've learned a lot tonight. I really did. I try to just have love in my heart for everybody. And it's just a tough time in this world today with everything that's going on. But I'm truly open to receiving people, everyone. And I think a lot of it has to do with my background, with the way that I was raised, with that everyone, like I said, God is for everybody. So I thank you guys. I'm certainly going to look into the transgender, the murder rate, or the unaliving rate. I'm sorry.
Yes.
That's been happening with them. I'm curious to look into that. My people, they know me. I watch gay YouTube people. People are people. I don't care. And my folks know me. Let me be quiet. Anyway, my praise and worship leader.
Listen, because when I need to gossip about YouTube, John is the first person I text. Did you see that last episode?
Listen, so it is what it is. I mean, people just need to, especially preachers, you need to, listen, we all got to cross the bear.
Amen.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Amen. And I'm reminded, and I was reminded of that about a week or two ago about that cross. So it's important for that. But I want to say this. The other day I was in my kitchen just thinking, I pondered, this kind of how my mind works. Everything in life that's bad for us is white. White bread, white rice, sugar, you name it. Just about everything that's bad for us is white. And I started thinking to myself in my kitchen, I said, you know what? Maybe God has been trying to tell us something for a long, long, long time. I don't know about you, but everything health-wise that affects you as a Black person that messes with your whole system is white. White bread, the sugar, the rice, the mashed potatoes, everything is white. And so I said, okay, Lord, I'm thinking I'm sort of getting the message now. Have I cut back on a lot of that stuff? Yes. And you feel better when you stop dealing with all of that white stuff. And I'm just here to tell you, it's the same way in life. When you learn to stop dealing with a lot of these people and get them out of your circle and get away from them, you can say whatever you want to, but I just told you the truth. Now you can. Now, I'm trying to tell you the truth. Everything that's bad for us is white. Is all messed up on that food chart. All I'm gonna say is I love and appreciate every single one of y'all. I'm so grateful for this conversation. I really am, and it was nice meeting all of you guys. Celeste, I love your ability to say white. That's gonna stick with me. Look, that's gonna stick with me for all day tomorrow. But I appreciate this conversation. It's really good, and I tell you, Vincent, you are at your best to me. With these types of conversations.
Thank you.
I think this is you are at your best with these types of conversations. That's just me. But anyway, go ahead, Celeste. I'm done. Stop eating all that white stuff. None of that white stuff.
Before you go, Celeste, let me say this, because I gotta sometimes we rush past the good stuff, just like what I did with Sheridan and John. So I received those words and thank you. As an other content creator, you don't have to give me a compliment, because sometimes we'd be competitive. So I appreciate you honoring me with that compliment. I received that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Celeste, talk to us.
I'm just glad to be here. And Marcellus is a fool, and I'm gonna say white. Okay, one last time for the night for sure. And the other thing that I do want to share lastly is that I was contemplating a few weeks ago how a lot of times the Christ that we actually say that we follow is almost a cosmic actuary. And this allows us to step back and weigh our accomplishments, or weigh gifts, or weigh skill set and all of that, and talent. We weigh and elevate that over those who are harmed, over those who are left behind. And we say, well, look at what all we've done, who all we've helped. And so that explains, those people, they're going to be all right. They'll figure it out. God will make a way. You know what I'm saying? But if we truly say that we follow the Christ of the gospel, right? Then the Christ of the gospel is the person who disrupted the system for the sake of relationship, the person who stopped everything to reach down and restore dignity.
That's right. Yeah.
Who interrupted his plans, who said, you know what? The place that I'm going is a very important place. This is a figure who is well known. This person's got money. This person is wealthy. Their daughter is dying, and surely did die. Because love costs something. So we have to, within ourselves, interrupt systems, frameworks, whatever it is that keeps us from relationship. And that is the crux of community.
I love. Yeah. I love.
Y'all be blessed.
Thank you, Celeste. Thank you. Evangelist Sheridan.
Oh, Lord. Firstly, Vincent, it's okay to tell these people that you heard me going live, and then you was like, you know what? I'm finna go live too. No, I'm just playing.
Well, let me say this though. Okay, so let me tell you what's interesting happened. Real talk.
Okay.
I set it up around 7 o'clock tonight, but I didn't know what I was going to talk about. But here is the thing. What led to this conversation, your live stirred me up so much. I got off of your live and went straight to ChatGPT. And by the time I looked, it was 10 o'clock. And so I came with that same energy. So I'll say this, though I had already planned to go live, you doing what you did is the reason why we had this great live, because you energized me. Is when you said R. Kelly told her don't talk to nobody, you sent me on a whirl spin. I went to ChatGPT typing and discovering and asking for facts. So I don't want to take that from you, that your inspiration inspired tonight's live for sure.
Oh, child, I was just playing, but I appreciate you for even
It's
commenting.
the truth. It's the truth, though.
I appreciate you because I didn't know I was on mute earlier. But anyway,
No.
uh,
I'm gonna talk about her real quick. You ain't see her when she came in the chat, Vincent, talking about, oh, that explains it or something. She said something.
I wasn't talking about y'all.
Yeah, Cause look, I was over there with her, and then all of a sudden I saw Vincent came on. I said, oh man, and so I had her on the TV, you on my phone. I was like, I can't do both of this. I'm like, man.
No. I said that explains it because I was on the vertical live.
I
And
know I'm
I
messing with
didn't,
you.
yeah, I couldn't see why my LaQuisha was telling me that I was on the wrong live. That's all.
Can you please stop doing that vertical stuff? What are you trying to do to us, by the way?
No, let me tell you what I love about vertical. It make the whites so mad at me. They cannot stand me. And what they didn't know was I did it one time, and when them whites was coming for me, I said, oh, great. Because when I was doing that series, I'm sorry, Sharon, I'm serious. When I was doing that series with Shantae, we would be on there for an hour and a half, and the whites would be on there the entire time being negative. And I said to myself, if you are listening to me, I'm sowing seeds in you. And so I said, oh, I'm going to go vertical every time now. So that's what happened.
People in the chat was telling Marcellus, get from over there. I was like, I didn't even know I was in the wrong house.
Listen, you didn't see that whites only sign when you hit that button?
I didn't see it either. That's why I said, oh, that explains it, because LaQuisha told me I was on the wrong side.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Sheridan. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, it's all good. So I just wanted to say, y'all, I love everybody. I love y'all. Celeste, I love your accent and your points of view. Thank you guys so much for including me. And I want to remind those of us who are in the quote unquote building. Romans 12:2 tells us, and be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I just want to encourage us that it's okay to renew our mindset. We don't have to be stuck. And I think sometimes we think conforming to the world means being worldly. But if we're acting in a way that Christ does, we're not conforming. So I want to encourage us to be brave enough to be Christians, not just Christian. Be Christian and actually do the things that he does, because we don't serve a dead savior, amen. So I just wanted to encourage us who are trying to walk out this faith walk, and it can seem discouraging. If we are supposed to be pillars in the community, we need to act like we know and do what we're called to do. So that's all. I just wanted to admonish us of that.
I love. Okay, well, this was wonderful. Y'all can go ahead and drop off. I'm gonna chat with the crew a little bit. We're gonna do a quick vote on whether or not we're gonna do. Hold on for a second. Can I help you, ma'am? Ma'am. Can
you hear me? Because I can't hear you.
I can hear you. Can I help you?
Hold on.
Now, while she's getting her microphone together, if y'all want to do an after show, drop 3 green hearts in the comments. If you want to do an after show, drop 3 green hearts in the comments. Can I help you, ma'am? Ma'am? Oh, Lord. All right, if y'all want to do an after show, drop 3 green hearts in the comments and let me know if y'all want to do an after show. The link in the 98th hour. Okay. Sheridan, you thought this was private? Hold on. Sheridan, you thought this was private the whole time? Oh, y'all thought this was the after. No. Oh my God. Listen, Y'all, my bad, because I know that I don't come on this studio unless I'm in the after show. So y'all thought this been public the whole time. And I'm just talking about the whites in public. Oh my God. This is hilarious. Y'all literally need to watch what's going on. This was streaming on Facebook, both of my Facebook pages, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. I know I'm in the wrong studio. I'm sorry, y'all. All right, LaQuisha.
Well, hello, Science.
Hey, how you doing? Late Johnny come late.
Oh, I came late for a reason. I didn't come for that full discussion. Although it was a great one. I enjoyed everyone, all the points of views. And listen, my girl Celeste, she don't mince no words, okay?
Right.
So anyway, I only came up for one reason and one reason only. Marcellus was saying earlier about the Jesus they serve that is not ours. And I have dropped this in the chat several times. And I think the only person I know that has watched it is Recash. But for all the people who think, and I'm not saying y'all do, but people who may watch, who think that they are serving the same Jesus you serve, go watch the documentary Bad Faith on Tubi. And you will figure out the Jesus that they serve is no more than the golden calf that the children of Israel built when Moses went to get the 10 Commandments on the mount. So don't ever think for 1 second that we are serving the same God. We are not. It's literally like the Jesus that they proclaim is a mascot. He's nothing more than that to them. He's not that's why I feel so sorry for all the black MAGAs. Like they really think that everything they are doing, the Republicans or whoever is on that side, they really think all that they're doing is Christ-centered and is a Christ cause.
And it's called Bad
is
Faith?
not. The documentary is Bad Faith.
Got it. Okay. On Tubi. Okay, bet. I wonder if I could do like a watch party. That would be cool.
Somebody put me onto that. A preacher that I know that I love so much put me onto that because he's a preacher, but he pays attention politically. And we had a cohort of classes he was taking, and he told the class, go watch that documentary and you will find out the difference. So that's why I feel so bad for all the black MAGAs who really believe they're doing God's bidding by being in the Republican Party. But if you are black and think that they are your allies or they are serving who you serve, you're absolutely wrong.
Marcellus, it's on Tubi.
It's on Tubi.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna close this down, and in 5 minutes, because I don't like when I switch it over. So I'm gonna shut this live down, and in 5 minutes at 12:20, we're gonna be live again. Matter of fact, even before then, as long as it takes for me to play these 2 commercials and come right back. All right. So whether it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes, but don't y'all go anywhere. For those of y'all that thought this was private, my bad. But I'm grateful for Safe Space because, if the essence of this community, this platform, when you come on to talk about nothing, and you end up talking about something so potent, it just lets me see who we are organically, who we are innately. And so thank you all for all of your minds, all of what everyone brings to the table. All right. So now VT want to go private, right? Right. Yeah. Now I'm going private. All right. Y'all be blessed. I will see y'all in less than 4 minutes. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hey, that's what I do. How you get out of that stuff you be in? I know how to pray.
This isn't just another church event. This is Impartation Conference, March 13th through 15th in Atlanta, Georgia. And this time, it's personal.
We are building a safe space where you can love God without fear, a space where you're not judged, but seen, heard, and honored for who you are.
This is your moment to grow, not just in spirit, but life. The clarity, the shift, the alignment is already happening.
And those dreams you buried, we're reviving them. We're breaking mental caps, tearing down limits, and helping you step into the version of you that was always possible.
This is more than a conference. It's a homecoming for your soul. Break free, grow deep, dream bold. Join us March 13th to 15th at the Renaissance Atlanta Airport Gateway Hotel. Register now at impartationconference.org.
Safe Space, refuge for growth and healing. Want to be connected to all that Safe Space has to offer? Join our email community. Stay in the loop with inspirational insights and updates. Join our email community and connect with like-minded individuals on the path to self-discovery. Sign up now.
Find your tribe in a safe, supportive space. Join the Safe Space private community and connect with others who get it. We're waiting for you. Stay connected wherever you are with lives and video drops. Text VTerrillHill to 833-458-3658 for instant updates and powerful insights. Join the text community now. Curious about what's next? Book an intuitive tarot reading with VTerrillHill and get the clarity you need. Your future awaits. Heal from within and transform your life. Schedule a soul healing consultation and take the first step towards wholeness. Start your journey today.
Click the Linktree link inside of the description box connected to this video for all of what the Safe Space universe has to offer.